We're ready to go. Hey, I'm back on the podcast, and my gosh, has it been a journey. I have been busy helping family, taking care of my dad. He just injured himself. And, still selling real estate while I am out of the area. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity with the clients that I have and we serve, because we all put family first. That's just the way we do business here. And with that said, here's some interesting things that are going on with regards to that scary topic, that thing no one ever wants to jump into and is such a challenge in real estate: divorce. Yes, I said it, divorce. We're seeing divorce changing the landscape of real estate over and over and over again. And on a positive note, I was just reading in my research that the decline in overall divorce rates is nationally going down, including California, where California's divorce rate was 7.45%, meaning 75 out of every 1,000 people in the state were divorced. This is one of the lowest divorce rates in the U.S. That information comes straight to you from the AmericanSPCC.org. So I am glad to hear that. And even as people say that, we are still seeing divorce as a challenge in our real estate world. So we have personally serviced many divorce cases over the last few years, and things just keep changing. I mean, generally, people that are men between the ages of 35 and 44 are often navigating divorce and separation and other identity shifts. We've helped quite a few people through this. And, it's not an easy thing at all. I just want to talk with you from the heart today, because real estate isn't just about houses. It's about life transitions. And sometimes those transitions are painful. And that is especially one of them, divorce, right? I just recently moved, and I keep talking about it over and over again, right? But I just recently moved my father from Yorba Linda, California to Oregon. It was a big life transition. I just helped another family who sold the family home here in Glendora, and they were in Canada. Another big life transition. Those are the things that we're seeing right now in real estate. All of this real estate business that's happening right now is big life transitions. So, look, I'm going to share some tips to help you as you contemplate and go through one of the hardest life transitions, right? Divorce can be very, very challenging. I'm familiar with it. I don't know if you all know, but my parents personally are divorced. And my mother got divorced one more time thereafter, too. So I've been through 2 divorces as a young lady and young child, and I can give you the child's perspective. I cannot give you the woman who's going through that personal experience of divorce, except only as your agent, because we've helped others that have went through it. So I don't know, maybe you're celebrating the divorce because he was just a jerk, or they were just a jerk, and it was time to move on. And maybe you're also experiencing some remorse, some sadness, or a mixture of emotions. Whatever it be, divorce is a big thing in real estate. So, some tips or signs that you're emotionally ready to sell. Here's one of the things that I've seen regularly in my divorce cases when I'm talking with men and women as they're moving through divorce. The woman usually wants to stay in the house, doesn't usually want to sell the house. Signs that you know you're emotionally ready, how to know it's time, and reframing the sell as a step toward healing. When you start contemplating those ideas, you start looking at it from the perspective of maybe it's time, maybe it's not. What new chapter might I experience when I start the process? Well, then you know you're emotionally ready to sell. Because so many people, from what I've experienced so far, it's taken 1 to 2, even 3 years before they're ready to make that move, before they're ready to sell that house. Second, setting boundaries with the ex-partner during the process. You want to be clear who communicates what and how you help mediate and protect both parties. Just let us know, what are the boundaries? We have lots of couples that they don't even talk to each other during the transaction. We talk to the one partner at one time, and we talk with another partner at another time. And then we bring those conversations together to find a successful win. And let me tell you, that is hard. It's exhausting for everyone. It takes patience. It is being clear with your language to help them understand without potentially being offended or hurt. You have to be a real communicator in order to help people move through a sell on the level of a divorce. And that is usually, typically people are ending up divorced because communication is what broke down. So, number 3, navigating the logistics with grace. So, who's living in the house during the showings? Sometimes the wife is, sometimes the ex is. Just depends on the circumstance, right? And sometimes, like I'm currently working with, you have a completely vacant house because everyone's moved out. I have found that is the most successful way to sell a property. What to do when one party resists selling? You're patient. That's all you really can do. Patient, you talk with, if you've included an attorney in your transaction and you're moving through the process of a divorce with an attorney, you'll confirm what next steps you can take. Yes, you can push, you can create pressure. There's this thing called an ex parte. Talk to your divorce attorney about that. You can inspire, depending on the position you're in. Just depends. And it's a challenging thing, right? So you want to make sure whatever you determine, just to be patient. The time will come when the house will sell. You just go through the process. Keep the lines of communication open. Also, you want to protect your financial future. Number 4, you want to make sure you ask your attorney, what do I need to do? If you've included an attorney, what are all my options? When it comes to the house, typically here in California, it's just a 50-50 split. However, you could determine to do something completely different. And if you want to do that, you just consult with that attorney in advance. and then get it in writing. I'm a big fan of putting it in writing. And your listing agreement matters more than ever. You want to make sure that agreement that you sign with your agent is done correctly, because it matters more than ever. Now, I had a lovely lady. She contacted me. I had helped them sell their house, buy another house, and then 2 years later, that beautiful house they bought, we put up for sale. Why? Yes, it was divorce. She was moving out of state. He was staying here. And they both agreed to use me as their agent again. That was their option. They could do that. We sat down. We had a great conversation, just her and I first. Then I spoke with him on the telephone next. We had a conversation between him and I as well. And we came to mutual grounds to figure out what the listing price was on the property, what we were working with contractually, and move the house on market. House showed beautifully. The wife and the kids were at that time occupying the residence. And because they were also emotionally ready to move, they completely cooperated, and we were able to sell that house in a timely fashion with no challenges at all. Everyone was in a tough situation, satisfied with the results. She moved out of state, and he's here doing what's best for him. Now, a divorce gone bad, on the other side of that, I had another family. This one was interesting, because obviously someone was not emotionally ready to make this move. Husband still lived in the house. The wife still lived in the house. The kids still lived in the house. And down the middle of the house was a divider built to separate the house. I promise you, to separate the house in two. The husband lived on one side and the kids lived on the other. And they never crossed paths. So just from that, I'm sure you can figure out what happened next. My sign showed up in the front yard. Well, at least I thought it was in the front yard until she threw it in the trash can. Yep, that's exactly what happened next. My sign went in the trash can. Oh, and showings? Well, the agents would show up to show the property, but there was no looking at the property because she wouldn't open the door. And then he had the nerve to call me and say, "Why haven't you sold my house yet?" What are you talking about? Why haven't I sold your house yet? We can't even get in it to take a look. Yes, we had photos. Yes, that was an interesting experience. And no, that family was not ready to sell yet. So we just called it quits because they just weren't emotionally ready. That's what happens. You will know when you're emotionally ready. Don't try to force it. There's going to be moments that, well, it's going to happen. You're going to have to do it before you're emotionally ready. And so if that happens, just be prepared for where you're going next. Start thinking about that next. Oh, another interesting experience. We had another one. A lady called in. She needed me to help sell her house. And he was on the outside looking in, literally, because there was a restraining order against him. And, well, that didn't go well either. I think they might still be working through that experience because they're just not ready yet. Yep, in and out of court still to this day, trying to work through the details of, are we selling this house? You're going to know if it's time, or a judge is just going to order it to sell. Either way, the house is potentially going to be sold. So make sure you sit down and have great conversations and line it right out. You do not want to not move it forward in a way that makes sense for you. So always be open for the conversation, open for what's next. Let me tell you this much. We keep everything confidential, whether you're having a conversation with us or you're having a conversation with your attorney, and we're having a conversation with your partner. Those conversations are kept confidential in the terms that need to be kept confidential. Obviously, we've got to share numbers back and forth to get through the negotiations, but we don't need to share opinions about what he said or she said or they said or them said or anything like that. What we do need to do is work through the terms of the contract. It's not easy, and I'm so grateful to see that the decline of divorce is on the downward spiral. So here's some interesting other stats that we just found. The divorce rate in California is around 8.9%, and divorce rates have been steadily declining since 2014. And gender differences, there's a higher percentage of women than men divorced in California. Women are at 10.7% versus men at 7.4%. The highest number of divorced men are aged 65 and over at 12.2%. And then if you want to get into the ethnicity, Black or African Americans have the highest divorce rate at 12%, while Asians have the lowest at 5.8%. And the median age at first divorce is 30.5 for men and 29 for women. Reasons for divorce. Common reasons cited for divorce in California include infidelity, communication problems, and just growing apart. The no-fault divorce. California has no-fault divorce laws, meaning a divorce can be granted even without proving fault. So look, divorce can happen. It does happen. I had a lady share with me, married over 30 years, had a few pieces of property, and he decided to leave. It's just the way it is. You can't control what your partner chooses to do. You can only control what you're doing in the circumstance and how you respond to and move forward through the process. So, take the time to reflect on what you need to accomplish next. Look at your financial situation. Figure out what's going to happen. Because most of the time when it comes to divorce is complicated. Whether it's easy or not, it's complicated. Whether the feelings are there and you're heightened or it's messy or it just can be anything. Divorce is complicated. If you or someone you know is walking through this season, please reach out. You don't have to do it alone. And this episode, this space is here to walk with you, not just sell for you.